Hey guys, this is Fiend91, and I'm talking about the Google Stadia. Now, Google had a live presentation where they revealed what seems to be a new console and a new streaming service. Now, there's some stuff I liked, some stuff I didn't like, but I'm just going to start with what I liked first. They showed off games, how seamlessly the transition is. They showed like, here you're playing on, I think it's a laptop and then a tablet and then a phone or something like that. It just seamlessly played and it was greatness. And it seems like also, I'm not exactly sure how this worked, but they were like, if you're watching a game on YouTube, you can like play that now and within 30 seconds you can play the game. I'm like, what? That's amazing. Google owns YouTube, so I guess they can get it to work. I mean, that would be kind of a game changer in my mind, because imagine many times you're watching someone play a game and you don't exactly know what the game name is sometimes or stuff like that. And Google just has, if they just have a button there that says you want to play this game now, and you press a button and it just takes you to the browser and you can play the game, that's actually, like I said, a game changer. And that would be pretty cool. I also liked how the presentation went. It was pretty good. Even though it started off a little slow, they got to the point pretty quickly. They got to how they're going to be streaming and how you don't have to download anything. It's just all going to be streaming. And it seems pretty good. It seems like Google's really taking their time. And then when they announced that eventually go 8K, it just shows they're thinking about the future. They're just not thinking now. Because let's face it, even though 4K is kind of becoming regular, it's not regular yet. So they could have gone straight to 4K and nobody would have batted an eye. But now the fact that they're saying eventually it will support 8K, they're just really thinking far ahead. But that's not all. Google is not just starting the streaming service, but they are also going to be making their own IPs. Now that's just showing that they're stepping in fully. Because they could have, in my opinion, just made like a Stadia app, even had it on like Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and just had you stream games through the app. They could have been like, we're just going to be software. But no, having your own IPs to me means that they're fully immersing themselves like into the console wars, basically. They're like, yep, we're coming with the console and we ain't holding back. But having said all that, there are some things I'm concerned with. Number one, they didn't show an actual console box. It seems like they are making a whole hardware console, and they probably wouldn't have to make it too advanced like hardware-wise since everything's being streamed, but they didn't show it. All we saw was the controller playing on things like, I think, phones and maybe on the computer, not sure, but they didn't show the console itself, so I'm like, okay, why wouldn't you do that? Number two, they didn't give a price. Like, we don't know how much it's going to cost for the console, if they have one, and we don't know how much it's going to cost for the service. Also, they didn't say how the service would work. Is it going to be like the Netflix, but with games where you just pay monthly and then you can play all the games on the thing? Or is it going to be like where you just have to buy each game individually and you just don't have to download it? Instead, you can just stream it. And of course, my number one concern is Mbps. What do I mean? Well, internet speed, basically. When you stream games, you need high internet speed. Just like when you're live streaming YouTube. You can't just go with like 50 Mbps and expect to get a good quality game. It's not going to work that way. So America right now, let's face it, it depends on where you live. Not everywhere has high internet speeds. Such as my brother-in-law, when they lived in North Carolina, they actually had really high internet speeds. But when they moved down to Florida, their internet speeds went down. So all I'm pointing out, because I only have, I think, around 70 Mbps right now. So I don't think that's enough to run a lot of the more advanced games when you're streaming them. Because when you're streaming, it's not dependent so much on hardware. It's dependent on your internet speed. So I'm concerned with the United States, because in Japan, I think they have really high internet speeds mostly. But in the United States, it depends on where you live. I just don't think this would be like picked up that much if it requires a super high connection. Like with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because they showed Assassin's Creed Odyssey off. I'd like to see what they recommend Mbps wise to play that game, because that to me would kind of show how other games would play, especially when you get to online games, because Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a single player game. If they said like, well, you're going to need 150 Mbps to have a smooth playthrough, that's concerning, because that would mean to play online games, you probably need like 300 Mbps. And not everybody, in fact, a lot of people don't have that, I believe. So that to me is the number one concern about this. How fast does your internet have to be to have an enjoyable playthrough? In any case, though, there were some things I liked about it, some things I didn't. But I can't really say yay or nay for this yet, because there's just too much out there. Like I've said, internet speeds, What type of service will it be? And what will the price be? I enjoyed the presentation, and I enjoy that the Google is really trying something new, and I really enjoyed that it seems that they're going full throttle into this and not holding back. But we still need to get a lot more answers. Hopefully they'll be at E3. Maybe they'll even like kind of replace Sony with the press conference. And hopefully we'll get all the answers we need there, because apparently this console is coming out this year. So we need those answers, in my opinion. Anyway, what do you guys think about the Google Stadia? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and may God bless you all.